Hey everyone, I'm Nido King, and I am not going to be continuing the Crescent Halberd only run of Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption because I just can't take it anymore. So I'm going to play Nightmare Mode instead because it's fun and interesting and easy. Here I get to fight roads with my full abilities and don't have to worry about, losing all my stuff. I just have to worry about Feistelus throwing all of his ranged attacks at me at the same time and teleporting to places. And look at this, he's using the waves yet again. You can roll through them. I generally don't. And I need to kill him before Rhodes arrives, or else this fight becomes basically impossible. So that's that. And I took so long that Rhodes is already in position, already attacking me, and I'm just gonna die now. I mean, I've got plenty of healing, but I'm never going to get through the whole thing if I got to use it all. So, we'll skip ahead about half an hour or so. Well, actually, I guess this is more like 10-15 minutes into the thing. I'm not that awful at the first part of this challenge. I do almost always die to Rhodes if I manage to beat Feistelus at all. But I'm still resorting to the flame buff really early in the fight, which seems like it's a good idea, but in the context of the entire challenge is a huge mistake. I will eventually correct that. Because as dangerous as it is to leave Feistelus alive for too long, you're gonna need those flame buffs later. This time at least, I get to position myself correctly before Rhodes becomes active, so I can get some early damage, dodge his attacks, and ideally not have to deal with any energy waves. Although, it's really hard to dodge the homing bullets at the edge of the ledge, so yeah, he's gonna shoot some energy waves at me. To be honest, you want to target this leg, the opposite of the one that I usually aim at, because it's the one that sits on the ground while he's down, and you can get a lot more damage a lot more easily. I admit, this looks really bad. And frankly, it is really bad, but I made it through that segment of the fight, at least. The fire pots, you pretty much want to hurl them all at Chanel because there's no other real use for them. I don't think they're the weakness of any of the bosses. And they'll stun her out of a lot of the moves that she's going to do. The flame buff is also good for doing a lot of damage because while you're not going to defeat her before Camberluce shows up, you don't want to be dealing with the two of them for longer than you absolutely have to. And ideally you can pin her against the edge of the arena, because the greatsword will stun her, and you can just keep whacking her over and over again and doing a ton of damage every time. I also really need to heal. And had that not fallen short, I would have been in pretty good shape, but there's no way I can deal with all those attacks coming at once. And Camberluce has shown up. But I may have this. The issue is I no longer have a flame buff, and she's got a lot of hit points left to get through. So I'm down to nothing but my spears. Probably ought to keep those just in case I manage to get to Yordo. No, stop dodging, please. We're so close. So this is one of the best runs that I've had, honestly. I don't normally make it this far, but I realize that I'm going to have to defeat 3 bosses, possibly 4, on the health that I've got now and my regeneration. Somehow that just doesn't seem likely. But it's good practice. Because if I can't get through this part of the fight without using a whole lot of resources, I'm not going to have a lot of luck when I do get to the later parts. I think it's pretty over now. But I might at least get a little time to practice on Levenundok. Seems like he doesn't go into his desperation mode either. You know, normally by this point he'd be doing the biting thing twice. I really thought I had killed him. Yeah, I need to practice watching for the boss to actually die. So, we're now about an hour in. And you may notice that I have, at this point, given up using the flame buff on Faistalas. I know exactly when I need to use both of them. And here, admittedly, I am often waiting for a fairly lucky pattern of appearances and moves that he uses. Summoning slugs, that gives me an opening. Summoning those little poison spores gives me a big opening. Summoning eyes means I gotta run away. At least he's using 2 attacks that I need to dodge at the same time, which gives me an opening to go in and punish him pretty hard after that. And I think we're in good shape. Should be able to get to Rhodes before he appears. And again, target the leg that's going to be close to the ground when he goes down for his midway desperation. Just so I can get in those extra hits without too much effort. People on the Discord server have said, all you gotta do is bait him away from the edge. Well, I would love to know how you go about doing that. Anyway, I use the first flame buff now while he's down. Because basically, I just want to kill him before the minions even have the chance to become a factor. And if I make it, then that gives me plenty of time to hit Chanel with my buffed sword. And in just 2 hits, I've managed to do that much damage. Had I not been so clumsy, I could have capitalized even more, but I'm in pretty good shape here, I think. The issue is, normally you would take this fight fairly defensively, but in Nightmare mode, you have to be aggressive. And I'm going to use those flame pots to open things up a bit. I did manage to parry one of the arrows, but she shot 3 of them at once, and the parry only took care of 1. That's the key to victory here, is when she's going to do her volley of arrows attack, you've just got to knock her out of it. Doesn't have to be a flame pot, doesn't have to be the pick of chastity. I think any attack will do it. And I'm about to explode, but I managed to defeat her at least before Camberluce caught up to where I was. So now it's a solo fight. Levin Undok, I'm pretty sure, doesn't show up until this guy is actually completely dead. So while I haven't really found an opportunity to heal yet, I may not really need it. The regen might be enough. Now, obviously I don't want to take any major risks here, not when the fight is going this well. But I've also only got 2 healing orbs left, so I need to conserve them. Yeah, of course he's going to start healing himself. Not going to get very far, though. So, running very low on health and healing, but Levin Undok at least I've had a lot of practice against in the main game, and discovered some nice workable strategies. One thing I would like to do at some point is to see how the flame buff works against her. Considering that in the normal game, you can't use it against her. You have 0 for this fight. But once I get used to the optimum timing on all of the flame buffs, and not being in the middle of a bunch of lightning strikes, I'm not going to be preserving one until this point in the fight. I need to find the real Yordo. There he is. And the whole reason I brought the scythe is just for this fight. Everything else I will greatsword my way through, but this fight I definitely want the increased riposte damage. And he's already summoning his minions in formation. I don't know if you can parry that. We're in bad shape in terms of health, and that last spear was a huge mistake. But now he's certainly going to switch over to the greatsword, if I survive long enough for him to do it. Yeah, I'm just turning into a pincushion over here. I mean, I want just to beat this guy and find out what comes next. I don't know why Yordo, of all opponents, is the one who's causing me so many problems. Other than I fought 5 other bosses before him and run out of stuff. But we've not skipped ahead. As you saw there, this is my very next attempt, no clever editing magic. So of course, I gotta make one of my worst starts. There were times during this particular recording session where I just gave up on a fight almost immediately. Don't do enough damage to Faiz in the first couple combos, and I would just run to the menu and hit restart, because there wasn't any point in continuing. but one or two hits I'm not going to restart over. The health will come back over the course of this interminable challenge. And despite running out of stamina at the wrong time, I still managed to finish him off. Went for my attack a little early before he'd actually finished stepping into the room, but yeah, it was a really nice combo. I'm very pleased so far. Should be halfway down almost any moment. And again, flame buff, so I can finish him before the minions get into it. I mean, that at least I'm pretty confident at being able to do nearly every time. Chanel, not so well. But yeah, I'm getting a lot more use out of the flames here. And this is, I think, the best time to use the second flame buff, right after the halfway point of this fight. Again, she is most likely to be the most dangerous opponent you gotta face here. You know, Yordo's tough because you haven't got anything left after fighting your way past all the other ones. Chanel will just wear down everything you've got. The only downside to it is it's tough to keep up your HP between her attacks and the drain from the fire, but yeah, if you can't keep up with that, you're probably not going to win. Yeah, hitting Camberluce when he's weak with that jumping attack just tears him apart in this mode. Man, I don't know whether all the bosses are weaker, but Camberluce takes tons more damage here than he ever did in the main game. And if you can stun him, you can just wail on him. I mean, there goes all the health that he regained. I'm actually in darn good shape now. I've got tons of stuff. And I didn't even use up any of my fire pots. Not that I'm really going to use them much. Although honestly, that probably would have been a really good time to throw one. Just while she's standing there, not doing much in the way of attacking. Definitely not moving out of that spot. I could do a lot of damage over time. Yeah, not the most dangerous fight, I think, but you gotta be conscious of the fact that if you don't defeat her in time, then you will be dealing with her as well as Yordo, and all of his minions. I don't think she does the lightning area effect in this mode. I don't remember ever seeing it. And we finished her just in time, I think. You know, I can swing my scythe at Yordo, but really, it's gotta be the parries. You get the maximum damage output. I don't know if I'm even gonna bother with anything else. Well, he does smartly run out of the range of my fire pretty quickly. But, you know, you don't want to move from there, you can stand in fire for a bit. That's my thinking. And also, yeah, I may take some damage from his minions, but I've got a good bit of healing left. I'm in much better shape for this fight than I have been for most of the other attempts at it. I'm not really worried. Although I notice he's coming at me with his greatsword now, so about time to switch weapons and go for the money shot. You know, bounce off his minions' spears a little bit here and there. But, you know, I got armor. I've got a couple heals left. And we're nearing the end of this thing. If I can just get in one good hit. Yeah, this is the part where things go really, really horribly wrong and all of my fortunes turn. But nope, I have plenty of spears left and nothing left to throw them at. What we got next? Yeah, you didn't think we'd be fighting Angron in this mode, did you? We have to fight Adam, but he is still balanced for a character who's made all the sacrifices. He's kind of a chump. Although he can still parry, but he doesn't do all that much damage, really. To be fair, I wasn't thinking straight at this point. I should be using the scythe. Most definitely. And again, going for just riposts. It's going to do by far the most damage. But with no heals to worry about. Yep, he's going to the greatsword, and it's already on fire. Which is great, because his moveset with the fiery greatsword is the one that leaves him open for attacks. I don't have to worry about exhaustion from running out of stamina. And he's not going to explode. And I didn't even have to bring the Pick of Chastity. I mean, the fight is far from trivial, I would say, but I'm in very good shape. Alright, that looked cool, but it hurt a lot. And, interestingly enough, he goes back to the sword and shield, which he doesn't do in the normal fight. But it does open him up for more parries, potentially. Although he doesn't seem to be swinging his weapon at all, he's just hurling lightning magic. Yeah, not even going to attempt to parry those. I still hate that he can parry even the jumping attack. I mean, Dark Souls definitely let you get past parries with a jumping attack. So, the strong attack doesn't manage to land. But I'll get there. He's got less health than me. He's the one who should be afraid. Yeah, there's still a threat, but I think we're good. And that was the Nightmare Challenge. We unlock the Gauntlets of Wrath, Angron's weapon. And that's it. That's really all that there is left to accomplish in the game. You know, there's 2 additional challenges where if you die you have to start over again. I'm not doing those. Never. Like, never ever. Maybe. But let's check out these gauntlets. I mean, this is the weapon of the boss that most kicked my butt in the Trial of Speed, so... yeah, it's really just basically fighting unarmed. You get a lot of attacks on one stamina bar. Even a rapid-fire strong attack combo. And a couple hits from the charged attack. It's not bad. Rolling punch, running punch. So, alright. Let's see whether maybe this weapon will be more suited to fighting Rhodes than the Crescent Halberd was. I mean, it seems bad, because I've got pretty much no defensive capabilities or anything. But the rapid attacks are pretty much the advantage that using the small shield and sword brought when I fought him the first time. That damage is pathetic. Yeah, I can do a lot of hits, but I can't do any damage. And also my charged attack has no range. Although I do like the ability to just get in there, be attacking, and just roll out of the way immediately. But yeah, if I want this fight to end ever, I gotta use a weapon that's got strength. Yeah, I suppose there might be some interest in going back to the Blades of Gluttony again, now that I'm actually okay at the game. Seeing whether maybe I just really didn't get what they were all about the first time. Which is probably true. I know I didn't give them a very good showing, even though I beat most of the bosses with them. I'm gonna get him down to at least halfway, maybe, and then switch back to the gauntlets. Or I might just not survive in the first place. That could happen. Yeah, punching him while he's emitting energy at close range, probably not going to work. But otherwise, it's not bad. I mean, this is the one boss you really do want to stay that close to. You know, if you can't reach out and touch him, you're probably too far away. It's slow but steady. And, you know, the attack not taking up much stamina at all does leave a lot more room for rolls, which is going to be essential for the entire fight. And a lot of fights, really. I would say probably you don't want to use these at all in the Trial of Speed. Honestly, the big shield is probably going to be great for the Trial of Speed, because, you know, when you can't roll out of the way of stuff, you're going to have to block it all. But alright, that's probably the best move for him to use when I'm far away. Let's not do the slashing blades. Round 2 of emitting energy everywhere. And me punching and kicking him while he's getting up. You do what you gotta do. I'm really not in a good position here. I don't even know what hit me. But that's it. I'm done. No more. I think I'm finished with this game. Bye, everyone.